How about a couple more responses here? How confident are you about your plans? So 0 is the lowest, 10 is the highest. Good, 5s, yeah, you're in the right place. This is terrific. So I'm also curious, whatever your number is in your confidence level, and I think this is important to, number one, check in with yourself. Get yourself grounded, get yourself checked in to say, okay, where am I now? And then we'll do this kind of check in again at the end of our time together about how confident are you now. So this is a before and after, which is a great way for us to measure the success of our time. So the next question I have, and I see a lot of 5s, this is good. What would move the number up? And I'd love your feedback in the chat box. What would move that number up? Is it feedback from the state? Is it economic numbers? Is it more people are calling you on the phone, opening sooner? Good, thank you. What would move that number up? Even just one level, say from a 5 to a 6, what would move that number up for you? Yeah, plan from the state. Thank you, Tim. Excellent. Yeah. Yeah. I think we could all pretty much agree what would move the number now down, but that's not our focus today. We're wanting to move that number up in confidence. Good direction on where to go and how not to offend. Excellent, Lisa. Thank you. A definite plan for my business. Great. Andra, we're going to talk about that today. Economics. Good. Thank you, folks. This is awesome. Jim, we've got a great team here today. And Tim, thank you. Yeah, so knowing for yourself, this is really key. Knowing where you're at, your confidence level, about your plans, and then knowing what will influence your plans to move up in confidence. And also know, as we move through our presentation, a lot of this confidence has to do with you. And I'll show you how to do that. We'll talk about that. So as Tim mentioned, my name is Kathleen Caldwell, and I've lived in McHenry County for 15 years. I married my beloved husband, Michael Caldwell, and I moved from downtown Chicago, moved for love. And I ended up not only falling in love with my husband, but also Woodstock and McHenry County. So I love it here. And I have used this wonderful community to volunteer like all of you, get dug in, and really make a difference in my local community, but also at the same time, have a view to what's out there state-wise, region-wise, what's happening with the United States and also the world. So having this kind of parallel processing view is a very helpful way for you as a realtor to be able to see, okay, what's going on where we live, but what are these also trends and factors that are going in around the country to help you be even more skilled and confident. And I noticed in my presentation today, I was so sad. My nice friend, John McDonough, is now moved on to new opportunities. And so I'm going to have to change that slide down there. I did an executive briefing with him a couple of years ago and missed that wonderful man. So yeah, so as we go through our presentation, the COVID-19 global reality, you all know this. You know, we've been experiencing this, that people have been affected, families, organizations, businesses, and careers have been affected. And life as we knew it has definitely changed. People talk about the getting back to normal, and I think you would all agree, there's going to be no getting back to normal when the state is reopened. We've got to create a new normal. That's part of our presentation today. But I'm a firm believer that with this type of change, the current reality is also that people are working from home. They're sharing their spaces with other family members. Bandwidth is at a real premium here. People are also dealing with this loss of their entertainment other than Netflix and YouTube and things like that. But their face services, dining out, even like happy hour in a restaurant or bar. We're not doing that right now. So as you all know, buyers and sellers, everyone related to real estate is anxious. Everyone related to the economy, and who's not touched by the economy, people are worried, anxious, and they're also confused. And so I'm affirming what you already know, that there's a state of confusion here. And as everyone knows, a confused mind says no, or a confused mind says pause. So put in the chat box for us, what would you say in your experience is the current reality with buyers and sellers, any of the tradespeople, any of your wonderful lenders, anything related to real estate? What's happening in your current reality? What are you experiencing? Would you agree that people are confused, people are anxious, people are worried? In my research, I'm affirming that the things that yeah, worried, thank you, Maureen, that people have taken listings off the market, people are pausing, people are uncertain about what to do next. But at the same time, I know that people are still making moves. There's a home next door to me that the person decided to make a move to live with family members. So that wonderful home is on the market. People are still buying and selling. Slow down confusion, more on seller side. Yeah, thank you, Tim. Yeah, people are waiting, right? Exactly. So part of your COVID-19 reentry plan is, I'm going to suggest to you, and we're going to do some exercises here in a moment, for you to be rock solid in your certainty about the things that you can be certain about. And that certainty that you can create for yourself is going to transfer to buyers and sellers. It's going to translate to momentum and moving forward. Yeah, thank you for all this good feedback. Closing delayed, right? Because the buyer got laid off. Yeah, exactly. Fear of market changes, absolutely. Yes. You hear this a lot, but it's so darn true. These are unprecedented times. These are uncommon times. And I am an optimist, like all of you. And Jim, I know you're an optimist. And Tim, I think you're an optimist too, along with our attendees. Yeah. That now, while there's uncertainty, there's also opportunity. There's opportunity. Now more than ever, people want certainty from you. They want experience. They want measured optimism, balanced by data. They want communication and they want leadership. So if you agree with that, please put yes in the chat box that, hey, there is opportunity. There is opportunity. And thank you very much, everyone. There is opportunity. And we're not going into this blindly, accepting that the world is perfect now, or it will be perfect in the next couple months. That's not the case. But having a cup is half full mindset with measured data, with feedback, with information is going to be very helpful for you. Thank you. All this good feedback. As professionals, we sometimes think that the way is around problems. Could we be looking for the shortcut? Could we be looking for ways to maybe circumvent the situation? Are there things that we can do to make it happen? But in this particular time, the way is really through this. It's directly through this. And as we're going to go through in a few minutes here, the planning stages that I suggest that you take to really move yourself into the next phase. It's not going to be easy, as you know. There are no shortcuts here. And it's the same way with your buyers and sellers and with everyone that you're working with, is there aren't going to be any shortcuts for the near future. Okay? However, the good news is you have choices, right? You can either put your head in the sand or you can soar like an eagle. You have choices here. And I love this quote from Vince Lombardi, that hope is not a strategy. So for all of you attendees and for all of you wonderful professionals that are going to be listening to this webinar, you have choices here. You have choices. You have choices about whether you're going to look back to the past, stay in the past, or you're going to make a conscious choice to move forward with courage, with strength, with community. You are surrounded by the most incredibly talented and committed group of professionals. Realtors are the best. I have such regard for what you do. You're trained professionals. You service your clients, you service the industry. And I was stopping to think in the last couple of weeks, all of the industries that real estate impacts. I mean, it's astounding to me. I was just thinking of the whole ecosystem that you impact. So having pride in that, having certainty in that, that's part of the way of moving through this. Okay, so we're not going to be working on hope as a strategy here. We're going to be working on what's next for you. Amen. I love it, Maureen. Thank you. Louise, thank you. Terry, excellent. Thank you. But at the same time, we know hope is not a strategy. For the past couple months, I'm a hypnotherapist, so I deal in the world of, what's happening to us in our bodies, in our minds, and what's happening. And I believe that Sue last week did a presentation on self-care for you. And I think that that was very good. How many of you learned some excellent new insights on last week's webinar? I was very jealous. I kind of wanted to get on that one. Yeah, thank you very much. Our programming and our habits are very powerful. Right now, the economy is so darn uncertain that it's easy for us to go to our programming. Whether it's, and this is, to understand this very clearly, is the key to making your solid plans. For many of us, our go-to thing when we're worried, nervous, concerned, uncertain is maybe to have a cocktail. I've been hearing that alcohol sales are up big time, according to the Wall Street Journal. Sugar is certainly, sales are up. Using the internet, smoking, whatever the preoccupation is. But the nice thing is that consciously you can move yourself to a healthier lifestyle. With over here, we've got our beautiful fruit and vegetable basket. The key in this re-entry, this movement, opening the state back up and opening your business to its fullest, is for you to take rigorous self-care of yourself. Rigorous self-care. Okay, good. And if you agree with that, yes. For many, it's alcohol. Yeah, and I just want to also say there's no judgment from me about this. We're doing the best we can. We're doing the best we can. And I think one theme that I'm so committed to is giving each other a lot of grace and a lot of space. Grace and space to just deal with this however we're going to deal with it, but have some new choices. Okay? So when you've got your programming here, notice for yourself, there's a couple ways you can look at this. This could be for you, but also think about this, that for your clients, for your buyers, for your sellers, they're going through this too. They're dealing with this at the same level that you are. They're dealing with their concerns. So notice for yourself in the last 2 months or so, since the COVID-19 coronavirus has really, preoccupied the world, do you have a tendency to go to a flight mode, a fright mode, or a freeze mode? Flight, fright, or freeze. Or for some of us, and I'll just say the first thing, I go through all of them at lightning speed, and then I kind of settle into a flight mode. Get busy, start doing stuff. And of course, that has its repercussions with being tired, maybe feeling a little anxious, feeling a little deprivation, with relaxation. So I'm curious, put in there you go. Thank you, Lisa. 3 times all in the same day. Yes, exactly. Where do you go when you feel like you're responding and reacting as opposed to being in control? Flight, fright, or freeze? Sometimes I feel like the little kid in the middle with the printer in the back. Yeah, flight. Yes, exactly. Yes. So as a hypnotherapist and as a business coach, and I think that it's a state of shock. I've been trained in this, is that these are all states of shock. And so we have to move through these states of shock, and just knowing that your buyers and sellers are still in that state of shock. So treat your shock. How do you treat your shock? Get yourself grounded. Preferably not on a chair that you're sitting on in a Zoom call. Get yourself on the ground. Start breathing. Commune with your breath. Commune with your heart. Sometimes what I do is I even just take my fingers and just tap on my heart a little bit. So let's take a moment. Because guess what? I need a break. Yeah. Just take a moment and just lightly tap on your heart and just breathe. Now, what are you experiencing right now? I'd love some feedback from Tim or Jim or even in the chat box. And you can stop tapping. Just what are you feeling now? Are you still in the same flight, fright, or freeze mode?
And calm kind of came in.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, you look calmer. I can see that. Yeah, calmer, very nice, good. Just even using the power of your breath is really, really important. Just the power of your breath. Because when we're in this flight, fright, or freeze mode, we don't have command of our breath. Nice, thank you, peace. Excellent, good, very nice. Thank you. Started tapping real fast, but then slowed it down. Interesting, yeah, exactly. Right. And do you think that buyers or sellers will be more interested in working with you or less if you are calm, centered, and relaxed? Right. And it's really important here to also notice for yourself, it's important for you, please don't take on your buyers and sellers, your lenders, your suppliers, your partners, whomever it is, your coworkers. Send them love and compassion, space and grace. It's not, if they're in a state of flight, fright, or freeze, it's not yours. So if you get one thing from today, just notice granting a lot of grace to people that it's their stuff that they're dealing with. It's not yours. You don't have to take it on, okay? You don't have to take it on. And partners and family members, grace and space too. But in order for you to be solid moving forward in your next plans, you have to know where's the boundary. Where do I start and stop? And what's their stuff? Not your responsibility to deal with their stuff. You know, obviously, if it's an emergency, of course, there's a life-threatening emergency. But for how many of you do you feel like you've been taking on other people's stuff during the last couple months? Anybody else's stuff? People are concerned and worried, and they want to take their little truck of worried, and they want to put it on you. Okay? Yeah, thank you very much. So a way to treat shock is just to get calm, start breathing. I love using the breath because the breath brings in mindfulness. The breath also is something you don't have to search outside for yourself with. You've always got your breath with you. How about that? Okay,
Kathleen?
good. Thank you. Yes.
So my watch does that for me. So I have an iPhone watch thing, and it tells me like once an hour to stop and breathe. And I'll tell you, the first couple of times that it told me that, I hit the dismiss button. But then one time I said, you know what, I'm going to do this. And I just sat there. I was actually watching television. I just sat there and just did it. I always closed my eyes and just did it. I'm like, holy cow, what a difference that made. And so now when it tells me, I'm sitting in my office right now at work, tells me to do that, I stop and do it, even though, you know, I'm here by myself, but it's nice.
Jim, excellent, excellent. Yeah, and as a side note, a practice that I've been taking on in the last 2 months is I have had to up my self-care big time, like all of us. And I have been on nonstop, like all of you, marathon Zoom calls. It's been awesome. And at the same time, I need a break. At the end of the day, I feel exhausted. If I don't, well, if I do this, I feel re-energized, which is every 50 minutes, 55 minutes, 60 at the latest. Stand up, take a deep breath, and then just move my body. Just move my body and just start breathing, doing some stretching. I have to do it on the hour. And I use my watch too, Jim, to set that alarm to not only breathe, but get up and move. Get up and move and just move the energy. And it has made all the difference. Get up and have something, some water, something cold to drink, and just take a little break and close my eyes for a moment for many of us, we're not driving a lot these days. So take a moment in a seat that's not my office seat, in another seat in my area, and just use the affirmation, release, relax and release. And it's amazing what that will do to just clear your mind. Just clear your mind, because if we're creating plans for the future, we've got to release all of that tension. We've got to release the shock from our bodies. Good. Thank you, yoga. Very nice.
I do similarly. So sitting here at my office, I'm sitting in this chair, and I've got plenty of work. Yesterday I was here as well, and a couple hours went by, and I didn't even get up. My watch tells me to get up. I'm like, oh yeah, I'll do that, but then I didn't. But when I'm at home, I do just the opposite. I've got a standing desk at home. And so what I find is the same thing, that I just need to walk. Even though I'm already standing, I need to just take the break, walk away. But I think I said this last week on Sue's session, that I struggled the first couple of weeks of this stay at home. I was not myself. I was looking for the routine. I was out of sorts. I was used to going to the office every day. And it took me a little while to get this figured out. And that was helpful, the moving, and then here, getting up and walking around. So great tips.
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you. That is super, Jim. And you're leading me into the next slide. So this is awesome. Yeah, good. So I'm curious, for all of you attendees, what is your one word that you use? What do you do? What's your secret thing that you do, your secrets to success around staying out of the flight, fright, or freeze mode? What are you doing? Maybe it's prayer. Maybe it's quiet time. Maybe it's hugging a loved one, giving yourself a hug. Maybe a photo, Jim, you were showing earlier, photos from your wonderful travel places you like to go to. What is, for all of you, just one thing that you can do to keep yourself out of the shock state and treat your shock? Okay, rum and Coke, I love it. Cuba Libre, sure, that's it. Yeah, meditating, thank you. Quiet and reading, very nice. Yeah, very good. Because right now, more than ever, pets, thank you. Yes, recite to myself, I can do this. Thank you, Louise. Yeah, very nice. Yeah, mine is, I take a deep breath and I tell myself, I've got this. I've got this. And remembering too, why it is that we're doing this career. Why are we doing all this? We're doing this because we're committed professionals that want to make a difference. We love our work. We're committed to it. We love property, real estate, the economy. We love moving us forward. And look at all the education that all of you have. There's so much pride in this commitment that you have. So we're going to talk about that in a little bit. But having some mantras that you tell yourself, having some affirmations is really, really, really critical. And these are all habits, by the way. All these are habits. So just daily habits. Good. Okay. I want to share with you just some really important data that you can use, not only for yourself, but also for your buyers and sellers, and for, just for general professional knowledge here. And I'm sure many of you already know this, but we've all got our cognitive biases. We've got these biases that we just have. And it's cognitive biases, a way a person understands events, facts, other people. It's based on your particular set of beliefs. And you know what? They may not be 100% right all the time. So I wanted to share with you, I had the great opportunity to be on a webinar with a social psychologist last week. And he was sharing these different types of biases. And I wanted to share this with you because it's really important to know this about yourself and also know this about others. So generally, there are three types of biases, and this integrates into your planning process, I assure you. First one is a bias toward normalcy, meaning we've got this mindset that, hey, the past equals the future. Well, just because it was this way in the past, it means, well, it'll probably be this way in the future. One type of bias. The second kind of bias that you may experience is a planning kind of bias. Is planning where, we're going to put all the plans in place and everything's just going to go as planned, right? Yeah, right. Okay. So planning. Sometimes I call myself a planner girl because I'm planning, but all bets are off right now. All the planning that we could have been doing, the COVID-19, that was an emergency. It was an emergency. It was a pandemic. We hadn't planned for anything like this, personally, professionally, or in the world economy. And the third kind of bias is hyperbolic discounting, meaning having a short-term focus. So think for yourself, which kind of bias would you have? Past equals the future kind of bias, like, hey, just because we've done this way, it means I can do it this way in the future. A planning bias that if I plan the heck out of this, it's going to go as planned. Or hyperbolic, which is, hey, I'm focused on today in this week. Okay? Any of these resonate with you attendees, you participants? Can you see yourself in any of these? Thank you. Yeah, thank you very much, Maureen. Normalcy, exactly, yes. Yeah, and for all of us, whether we think the markets are going to be boom or bust, bull or bear, guess what? You're probably going to be right because of your biases. Yeah, so just knowing this, and this is a continuum. This is a continuum. There's no right or wrong here, but just knowing where you're at and then also knowing where your buyers and sellers are at will help you to kind of do some planning. I also highly recommend in this planning process I'm going to show you is work diligently on adapting. Work on adapting, flexing your muscle. If you're not a person that is leaning more towards, maybe you're leaning more towards normalcy, know that nothing's going to be normal when we re-enter the economy, okay? Nothing's going to be normal. So it is, of course, a new normal. Okay, so let's move into some planning here. And of course, we need to take a breath, right? All right. So you know the old saying, those that fail to plan, plan to fail. And we're going to sketch out now a plan for you so that you have more confidence about when the state is moving more towards a reentry. And I think, you know, we've heard what now, May 31st. Jim, could you give me, or Tim, what's the latest data that you have of when we can kind of get back with the appropriate safety covers and masks and gloves and booties when we go into homes, that type of thing? What's the latest?
I think the date we're working on is May 30th now, whether it gets extended beyond that. And I think that's part of the reluctance on many of us is that we have this fear that it's going to be pushed farther and farther.
Well, even beyond that, real estate is considered an essential service. So I think that actually puts more pressure on real estate agents because there's this dilemma of, I need to be safe, I need to be safe with my clients, and yet the government says it's okay for me to go do this. So what's really the situation? It's not safe, yet they say go do it. So there's a lot of pressure, I think, on real estate agents that are falling in this gap of, you know, it almost becomes a moral battle of, do I go show property? Do I go list property or do I not? Because I'm not supposed to be out.
Excellent. So thank you very, very much for that, because I think that part of this too is for everyone to note that there's having some sort of plan for the next 90 days. Now know that this is going to be fluid, okay? Know it's going to be fluid. And guess what? We're going to ease into a lot of these things. We don't have the answers. And just knowing for, okay, the next 90 days, what would be a reasonable type of outcome? Let's just say that it's going to be May, June, and July. Granting yourself a lot of grace, next 90 days, knowing that you have some sort of plan, which we'll talk about. You have an outline, you have a sketch of what you want to do, is going to be really helpful. So put in the chat box, yeah, thank you very much. This is excellent, excellent here. You know, the one thing that I am certain about is that, Jim, your organization is going to bring its members the latest and the best information. That's one thing that I'm very certain about. And Tim any organizations, any groups that you're part of, you're going to be bringing everyone the latest and the best information. You're going to step up your guidance, correct?
That's what these sessions are for. That's why we've gone to a weekly webinar, to just make sure we're getting the best we can to people.
Yeah, very good. And increasing communication. Right, exactly. Very good. Thank you. I love the chat box. This is it. Yes. Stuck in
We're
the
going to
middle.
make
Okay,
lemonade out of lemons.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah, yeah, and make a living as well. Exactly. So there's this balance here, right? So let's start to have, as we're coming into this reentry plan, start to think about, okay, we've been so daily focused, and it's completely understandable, is to know with some degree of confidence, God willing, the world will be here in 90 days. Okay. And we could start to think about, as we move toward May, June, July, even move it out a little bit, go June, July, August, start to be thinking of the summer months into the fall. Okay. Giving yourself a lot of latitude. And what would you like? Let's fast forward. This is a term called future pacing. Let's fast forward ourselves to, let's just say September 1st, 2020. And think for yourself, what would be one thing you would like to have with your real estate career on September 1st, 2020? One thing. Again, we're getting back to that confidence thing. What would be, if you had one thing September 1st, what would that be? Okay, put that in the chat box so we can communicate with you. We want to know what's on your mind. One thing September 1st, and this is important for you too. Know what you want. September 1st, what would be one thing that would be, let's just say, a winning situation, a winning plan? Okay, I can tell you're all thinking about this. This is good. One thing, September 1st. Yeah, very good. Thank you.
A
Go to
sense of
restaurant.
normalcy, a sense of normalcy, Kathleen, except we don't know what normal is going to be anymore. But.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And Tim, thank you, to be able to quantify what that normalcy, that normalcy would be, to quantify it, to get into concrete terms, not like if it's not bad, it's nothing, but to start to quantify, what does normalcy mean? Maybe it means I can go back to the office, but with a mask. I can start showing property with a system. I've got a system here. Here's the checklist. We will show your property when these conditions are met. We'll start showing buyers property when these conditions are met. That you have a system, you've got a methodology, you've got a framework to use. Good, thank you. Yeah, very nice. Miss not being at closings. Yeah, thank you, Maureen. Yeah, have homes under contract. Good. Church, excellent. Yes. Be at public places. Exactly. Yes. Very good. Oh, I love this. Very nice. Confidence in the market. Good. Okay. Very nice. Everyone back to work. Good. September 1st, that would be really a great goal. Okay. Good. Thank you very much. This is great feedback. It's interesting. Some people don't want to be at closings. Others do, which is great. Yeah. And not stop the closings. Yeah. Very good. Thanks, Lisa. Good. Okay. So as you're looking at, we're going to just revamp this a little bit. And let's just say September 1st. And I'd like for you to, this is more like 180 days. But start to think about what the end goal is for you. What is it that you would like to have in your real estate career? Now, we've got all these other things in your family life, your personal, professional life, of course. But for the sake of our webinar here, what are some things professionally that you would like to see September 1st? And what I'd like to then suggest is, without a plan, it's just going to be hope. So we're not going to go there. But then start to break it down into, fast forward yourself, what do you want September 1st? And then start to look at August, July, June, and May. In order to have what I want September 1st, what could I start working on? How would it look in August? To start doing some planning for yourself. And I like to take it really easy. 3 key objectives. Just 3 key objectives. So for September 1st, and you're going to get a copy of these slides, Jim, right? Everyone will get a copy. I can also include a PDF for everyone. But start to think about for yourself, what are the 3 key things that you want September 1st? And then what do I need to do in August to start to have those 3 key things in September realized? And in July, in June, in May. And what then I like to do is break it down into 3s. What's the monthly goal? What's the monthly objective? What's the weekly objective? And then what's my objective today? What's my focus today? Just 3 things. What do I need to accomplish? What do I need to focus on? And choose some things that are really inspiring. You know, out of your 3 things, it could be 3 professional things, or it could be 3 things. 1 professional thing, 1 family related thing, and 1 personal thing. My health, my vitality, my faith, my community involvement, something like that. So this is the triad. It's the trinity of 3 things. Okay, good. Very good. How does that sound to all of you? 3 things, 3 things. Personally, professionally, or all professional. You get to choose. This is your plan. 3 things. Break it down into September 1st and then back it into what am I going to do in August, July, June, and May. And then what am I going to do today to realize that? What am I going to do to move it forward? Good. Thank you. Okay, good. Now, folks, I want to mention something to you. This is all about progress. This is not about perfection. It's all about progress. Okay? Remember that. I also recommend number 2, do a SWOT analysis. How many of you have recently done a SWOT analysis? Listing on a sheet of paper. You can have 4 quadrants on a sheet of paper. List for yourself, and just do this for yourself, by yourself. What are your strengths as a real estate agent? What are your weaknesses? What are your opportunities, and what are the threats? Okay, for that September 1st goal, do a SWOT analysis for you. And most importantly here, number 3 is create a list of your key skills, your competencies, and your value proposition to your clients. I did a little research, as I mentioned to you, and I'd like to tell you that a seller was telling me, I interviewed her, and I said to her, I was pulling out my notes here, I said to her, what are the things that you're looking for in a real estate agent? Tell me about, from a professional woman's perspective, what are you looking for? Because she's getting ready to sell her house. And she and her husband are moving to a new city in their county, but they're moving to another house. She said to me, things that you already know, but she said she needs to have a real estate agent that is analytical, that knows the marketplace, knows the market trends, knows the historical data about the home market and the county and the economy. She wants to have a real estate agent that has data and facts driven, has a track record. This was really awesome to me. She said she is looking for, and I believe all buyers and sellers are looking for this, they want to work with someone who's had a track record during this COVID-19 crisis, this pandemic, that's been doing something productive. She wants to have confidence in someone that's been doing something productive during this time. And that is also has a system on how she or he is going to sell the house. What's their plan? Are they going to do advertising? Are they going to put it on listings? What are they going to do? So it doesn't have to be 100% accurate, 100% like locked in, but she needs to have confidence, like your buyers and sellers will need to have confidence from you that this is your system, this is your plan. It's going to be modified, but I am the person who can confidently take you to where you want to go. Okay? And she was also saying to me that she wants a real estate agent that's been using this time to get more education for themselves, because she viewed that the education that a real estate agent gets for themselves will also benefit her as a seller. Okay, so what do you think about that feedback from the seller? Is this consistent with what you're hearing? Yes? Yeah, good. Keeping in touch with clients, be positive. Yes, exactly. Good, thank you, good. So you can be very positive with your plan when number 3, you've got a key list. You've got a list of what are your skills? What are your competencies? What's your value proposition? What is it that only you can do for buyers and sellers that no one else can do? Why are you unique? What is your commitment to them? Good, thank you. Okay, all right. And then 4 and 5, part of our reentry plan, and we're going to wrap up here soon. We might do some Q&A. Jim, we'll see what's next.
Do that.
But yeah, but thank you to Jean for helping me with this next slide. Thank you, Jean. Is part of your reentry plan as professionals is also number 4, now's the time, and you've been doing this, I know you've been doing this, but to strengthen those relationships with your partners, your coworkers, your colleagues, lenders, bankers, lawyers, tradespeople, anyone, title insurance company, all of those fabulous people that were on the screen that Jim put up at the very beginning. Put together your plan for how are you going to improve your relationship, increase your relationship and your communication with all of these people. One woman that I talked with last week said she was a realtor, and she said, you know, I just kind of feel like I'm bothering them. And I said, no, if you feel like you're bothering them, you're probably going to bother them. Ask them a question, get the conversation started. Come from a place of what can we together start to do now to start preparing for the reentry and the reopening of the business. And a key question is, how can I support you? What can I do to support you in your business? Kind of a givers get kind of mindset. So starting the questions, and I know many of you have been doing this as well all throughout, but now is the time to really double down on your communication and your calls, your emails. I'm starting to use a new technology that lets me put videos in email and to be able to customize emails to all of the women that I'm working with and the men as coaching clients and corporate clients. So personalization is really important now. Yeah, it takes extra effort, but it's going to set you apart. Okay? And then number 5, keep in touch. Thank you. Keeping positive. With this measured positivity and optimism, measured as we talked about early on, know that cognitive bias that you have. Know that you might be leaning towards everything's going to work out. Well, okay. Buyers and sellers want to know, they want optimism, but they also want a plan. Okay, what's your plan? And then number 5, now more than ever, it's really important to be visible and provide value. Be visible and provide value. Now is not the time to go dark. I know there are a lot of people in the economy that are spending this time. They're watching a lot of Netflix. They're watching a lot of things. They're taking their time. I personally think that is very, very risky. It's very risky. Be in action and be confident. Do some webinars for yourself. Have a particular point of view. What is your expertise? Something that you're really passionate about with real estate. Start doing some short webinars, some podcasts, some videos. Get your own YouTube channel and start to have a point of view and start informing and continuing to educate and connect with your ideal clients. Okay, they're going to see that leadership and they're going to be very, very, very impressed. All right, good. Okay, so on this reentry plan, I'm going to skip back to the other slide for just a moment. And okay, yep, good. So of our 5 steps, creating a plan for yourself, sketch it out. And you might even get some feedback from one of your colleagues about your plan. Do a SWOT analysis on your plan. What are the strengths of it? What are the weaknesses? What are the opportunities and what are the threats? Use this as a really good guidepost for you. And then Of course, getting really clear about what is your unique abilities around your skills, your competencies, and what's the unique value proposition you provide to your clients, your prospects, your customers, your partners. Okay? And then 4 and 5, strengthen those relationships. Keep communication going, as Jim was saying. Ask these key questions. Hey, what can we start doing now to prepare for what's next with the business or for the reentry? How can I support you? What can I do to support you in where you're at? They may say, I don't know, but you're planting a seed for that relationship. Okay? And then again, number 5, be visible and provide more value than ever before. You don't have to burn yourself out, but a nice, measured system part of your plan. I firmly believe in the crawl, walk, run model. So we're crawling, then we're walking, and then we're running. So do what you can today to be visible. Okay? Now is the time to be in action and be confident. Okay, and then in summary, so I'm just going to take a little pause here as we go to our final couple slides. I'm just curious, I want to do a check-in here. At the very beginning, we did a confidence check-in on 0 to 10. 10 was the most, 0 was 0. 0 was not at all. How confident are you now that you can create a plan for yourself for the re-entry of the real estate business, for your real estate business? 0 to 10. 10 is like you're rock solid. Many of you were at a 5. Where are you at right now? Thank you very much. The numbers are going up. This is great. Good. Very good. Thank you. I see some 7s before I was seeing 5s. Good. 6 and 7. Thank you. 7. Good. Great. And I assure you that once you sit down, put on some nice music, maybe have that Cuba Libre if you would like to at happy hour or whatever, or a cup of tea, just put out for yourself just some planning documents, just to start to think about this. Where do I want to be September 1st? And what do I need to do in the months before that to move myself to that outcome? Okay, that will help you move up even higher. Great. Okay, and as we finalize our time, ladies and gentlemen, there are opportunities. There are opportunities all around us. What this is going to require is for all of us to see our situation with new eyes and get a 360 perspective. So look everywhere, all around you, with curiosity. What can I do to be in service to more people that are possibly clients, customers, buyers, sellers? What can I do to be in service? Provide more value than you've ever provided before. And that doesn't mean that you have to do. Find out what value means to them. Ask them, hey, how can I be helpful to you as we start moving to this next phase of the COVID-19 coronavirus situation, the pandemic? What can I do to be in service to you? Develop a future focus, okay, with new questions. New questions give you new answers. And remember, above all, connection with people is currency. Connection is currency. Okay? Wow. Jim, we've had so much time, exactly. So how about a couple just next steps? So next steps, do that SWOT analysis. Do the steps in our planning process. Think about where you want to go and what are the steps you can start taking today, this month, next month to move you toward it. And what I also like to do is I like to have for my own self a gold goal, a silver goal, and a bronze goal. So I've got something really, really optimistic, and then I have something more measured, and then I have something that I'd be really, really thrilled with. So this is your own Olympic Games here. Set up for yourself a gold goal, a silver goal, and a bronze goal. Okay? While in our final slide here, grant yourself 30 minutes each day for success. Okay, give yourself 30 minutes, at least 30 minutes. Read something inspirational, do something for yourself, move something in your body. Get your head and your heart and your rear engaged. 30 minutes, commit to doing it. Tomorrow morning, 30 minutes. Stay, number 2, part of your COVID plan here is stay out of overwhelm. Stay out of your overwhelm. Know if you're a fight, flight, or freeze person. And what I do is I take out a sheet of paper, and if I'm feeling like I don't know what to do, but I know I need to do something, I just do what's called thought storming. I just take a sheet of paper and write all these ideas down. Just get it out of my brain, get it on a sheet of paper. Here, I could do this, I could do this, I could do this. I don't need to do any of those things, but come up with a list of possibilities and options, and then just take one step forward, just one small step forward. Okay? I'm also offering, from my gift from me to you, is if anyone would like to have a 30-minute session with me to talk about their career and how to accelerate it, especially now during this transitional time, please use the link here. You can send me a text message, an email, or go to Calendly/Kathleen Caldwell, and you can get into my calendaring system and book a date and time. I've got some limited times in the next couple weeks, but I want to offer one of those to you, completely complimentary, and we'll put together a short, small mini plan for you where you know you'll have the confidence to move forward. Okay? And so with that, Jim, I'll turn it back over to you. And
All right.
Tim, thank you very much for this tremendous opportunity. It's been the highlight of my day, and it's why I'm here to do what I do. Thank you.
Well, we surely appreciate you, Kathleen, and the fact that the numbers rose for everyone that was listening, including myself, and everyone has a little map, whichever way they want to work with it, but to set goals and see where we want to be each as individuals. But I think the best one was the last one that says, don't go dark during this time.
Right.
Right, exactly. Yeah, hunkering down is not the answer.
Reach out to your clients. Well, thanks. I don't see any other questions. Thank you, Kathleen. Appreciate it. We've got your contact info on the screen, and we have recorded this, so we will post this, as I said in the chat box. We will post this to Heartland's YouTube page. So go there, and then of course we'll put it in our Friday newsletter with the links to as well. So Kathleen, thanks again. Wonderful as always. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
All right,
Thanks,
everybody.
Jim.
Take care. Thanks, Tim.
Bye-bye. Take care.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.